What's up, blind viewers? Okay, I think you're going to enjoy today's guest. All right, he is a guy with an awesome beard. It's Paul, the bread
Hey,
trucker.
how's it going?
What's up, man? All right, now, first thing I wanted to clear up right away, I've been calling you Paul Barger, and I heard somebody call you Paul Barger. And I was like, shit, have I been pronouncing your name wrong all these years? What's your last name? How do you pronounce your name?
It's Paul Barger. Uh,
Barger?
yeah, I
Cool.
pronounce it differently. Our family pronounces it differently than the Sonny Barger that most people are familiar with.
Okay, cool. So good. I don't feel so dumb now because I was like, every time I talked about you on my videos, I called you Paul Barger. And then he's
No,
like,
you got it.
cool. All right. Because the other
The
day
way
I
I,
heard
the
somebody
way I
call you.
remember it, the way I remember is I put the gur in Barger, baby. That's,
There you go.
yeah.
Awesome. 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 All right. Well, first of all, I know a lot of people probably know you from your million view videos about getting pulled over, but I know your channel and you are a lot more than that. So I want to touch on that real quick. And then I kind of want to just get away from that because that's everybody. Hey, Paul got pulled over. Yeah. But
Yeah.
um, so first of all, as a YouTuber, how is it to have a million views? Is it awesome or what?
It is pretty awesome. It is awesome. The first one that went crazy was the pullover in Idaho, and it was in one day and it just skyrocketed. So it's really exciting just to see the numbers just going up by like thousands at a time, like thousands of subscribers in a day. It's really exciting.
It must be totally
Yeah.
awesome.
But again, it's a bit of a controversial subject to like recording the police. So
Right.
also there's a bit of like, am I really, should I do this? That's taking it to a whole nother level. So um, I don't know. There's two sides of it, but it's the I have two videos that reached a million now. The Reno video did just the other day, like a month ago,
Awesome.
and but that one was a slow climb. It was like it got there, but it wasn't this huge explosion.
Right.
Um, but when YouTube finds something they like in your videos and they put it in front of all these new viewers that have never seen your thumbnail, uh, you know,
Now,
sometimes it takes off.
I'm glad you said that because that was my next question. With something like that, do you get a lot of new subs from it or just views?
Oh no, yeah, it climbs in every direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe might depend on the nature of the video,
Right.
but with the genre that the pullover video was in, maybe that being combined with van life, something about that demographic, it converted a lot of those views to subscribers. So I went from 6,000 subscribers to like 30,000 subscribers, and I don't know, it was extremely fast. Like I gotta turn that off. It was extremely fast, like maybe I don't know, a week, something
That's
like that.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was one of the things I wondered. I was like, because some people, they come in and go, oh, they're into the, I don't know, with all the crap that's going on nowadays anyway, they're like, oh, let's go see what the cops are doing. And they're like, it's just some RVer dude. And then they kind of like go away. Or I didn't, I was wondering if how many people actually stuck around. So that's cool. You got, like you said, you
Well,
grew always.
yeah, and it makes my channel a little bit odd too in the way the numbers work, because a lot of people that subscribe to my channel have a very specific focus on police audit videos. So my everyday video may not be appealing to them.
Right.
So I mean, the number of people that are subscribed to my channel that watch my videos is 95% are unsubscribed.
Oh, wow.
Imagine if I had more people who watch my videos actually subscribed. I'm only at 5% of subscribed people. So I don't know. It's a little, it's a double-edged sword, I guess. It's a little bit of it's a weird community in the comments on my channel too.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Um, yeah.
And then I guess you kind of took it into a little bit of a comedic venue with your sticker.
Oh yeah, with the the YouTube famous
Yes.
sticker.
Film me, I'll
Um,
make you film it famous.
yeah,
Pull me over, I'll make you famous.
I thought I know I just thought of it one day. We were thinking of all this stuff for something I could do, but I think it's kind of a funny way to say, hey, if you pull me over, I'll be recording. You
Yeah.
know, just to put that out there, and I'll probably post it on YouTube. And I don't know, with people that are in my community and know what the sticker is about,
Yeah.
they have an outlet for it too. They may not have a YouTube channel or something, but they can work with me, and you know, they may have a way to get it on YouTube and put it in front of people, because that's my viewers want to see that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So if someone was rocking my sticker and they got pulled over or something like that, I would definitely help them out with you know, another YouTube banger.
That is awesome though. That's cool. I mean, that's smart stuff. I like when people, you know, come up with innovative things like that. That's awesome. I love that idea. I
Yeah.
think it's so cool.
It's just, you know, I kind of believe in like counter surveillance a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Record back. That's
in
all.
in the world we live in, where everybody has dash cams, and everybody has a computer with a camera on it in their pocket at all times, and yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, Big Brother's watching us, but we need to watch them back. I agree, 100%, man, 100%.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, YouTube, did it come first, or did your nomadness, your nomad status come first?
No, the it actually YouTube came first.
YouTube came first.
Um, yeah, I knew I wanted to do this life. I wanted to go on the road and travel that way. And I studied it on YouTube for like, I don't know, a year, daydreaming about it, you know?
Uh huh.
And I decided to start my YouTube channel like a week after I quit my job. I decided I was going to do it. I had already purchased I at the time I owned like 10 vehicles. So I had an RV, I had the bread truck, I was already planning on building some sort of rig anyways. Um, so I had three Volkswagen buses, or two Volkswagen buses at the time. So I don't know, I'd already planned to build a rig, but I hadn't really like made this decision to like do it. So I started my channel first, and it shows like my progression to what vehicle I was going to take and building it, and then actually going on the road. You see about 6 months before I go on the road.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said you had. I was going to ask, why a bread truck and not a van or an RV or anything else? What made you settle on the bread truck?
Well, you'll just have to go back and watch vlogs number 1, 2, and 3. It's all, no, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But that is kind of like the discussion of like the very first videos of on my channel. But I had 3 different vehicles that I was going to take. I have this really cool vintage 1976 Dodge Titan RV. It looks kind of like a Winnebago. Same platform as that. We had a 318 V8 Dodge motor. And but it needs a new repower. It's got a clapped out motor. It's got a bad transmission. So I bought the bread truck to yank the motor out and to put it into this RV. And I thought it'd be cool having a Cummins powered diesel RV. And then, you know, the other choice I had was a 1988 Honda Key van, a Honda Acti 4-wheel drive.
Wow.
Micro van, you know, like smaller than a minivan.
Yeah.
I had imported 2 vehicles from Japan about a year previous to me going on the road. Just I've always wanted to do it, and I had this little Honda. It was a really cool ride, but not very practical. If it had broke down somewhere, you can't get parts. They're like Japan only parts.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe Russia. There's certain countries that have it, but not here.
Yeah.
It's not even in our database, you know. So
Wow.
I decided not to go with that, and it was worth a good bit of money, so I sold it. And so I don't know. Once I started dealing with the 2 vehicles, I kind of ruled out the Honda because it was so small and impractical. I would have had to rip one truck apart to put it into the RV, and then I would have just had a vintage RV, you know.
Yeah.
The bread truck, I started looking on YouTube, and there was nothing on YouTube. about bread trucks or step
Wow.
vans at all. The only person that was on there was Seven Gray with Seven Wonders of the World. He has a channel now. His bigger channel is Tiny Home Tours, nomadic tiny homes, nomadic home tours. Shit, man, I was one of those. But he's done a video on my newest layout on nomadic tiny homes, I think is what it is. Nomadic tiny homes. Man, I feel bad for that one.
Well,
I
we'll
didn't
figure it
expect
out.
to bring up that. Sorry, Seven. But Seven was the only dude on YouTube doing any kind of van life step van thing. And I thought the step van's pretty cool. I like a lot of things about it. So it's already put together. It's already got the motor that I wanted anyways. I
Yeah,
wanted a
right.
four-cylinder Cummins. So I was like, it's the simplest thing. I'll just go with that. So that's how I ended up with it. But I still do have the 76 Dodge Titan. I
Oh,
want
do
to put
you?
a 6-cylinder Cummins in it.
Well, let me go back a little bit before. What did you what was your occupation? Were you like, in construction or a mechanic or anything that made you, you know?
I was a department manager at Publix supermarkets.
Oh,
So
Publix. Okay.
yeah, I was a deli manager. I did that for about 10 years.
Wow.
And that was it. I was just Publix deli manager.
And then you just,
But my background has always been hospitality, though, food and beverage kind of things,
uh,
tourist industry here in Orlando, Florida. So that's, I've always been, Publix is technically retail, but
yeah.
whatever. It's pretty much a restaurant in the deli anyway.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I was tired of that life. It was not for me at all, you
Yeah.
know? So.
That's interesting because I mean, to just jump in and just did you like tinker around on the weekends? Were you always into, you know, wrenching on shit or building stuff or whatever,
Yeah,
or did this drive you that way?
I've never really done all that much, like when I've always tinkered around with little things and stuff, but I pretty much went to work and didn't really do anything exceptional. I went to work and I don't know. Before I went on the road, I don't know. I just lived an unhealthy life. I kind of made this change like 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago,
Oh,
where I kind of like, it was around the age of 33 years old, something like that.
mm-hmm.
32, I'm 44 now. I just kind of like woke up and I figured out like that, I don't know. I just kind of changed the way I saw everything. I kind of figured out my secret of life and started making baby steps toward like this dream life that I've always envisioned, but I was always told that it's unattainable. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. It's kind of interesting because that's the same reason I started watching the YouTube channels and got sucked into this RV nomad. As you can see, I'm not in an RV. I never have been,
Mm-hmm.
but I got sucked into because it was like, okay, I sat down with the wife one day. I was like, hey, maybe we should look into this RV and stuff or something so we can run around and I can go see stuff while I can still see a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the hell does this mean? And what's that? What's that? I know what a fresh water tank. What the hell is black water? What's gray water? What's the difference? I don't know what this shit is. So I started watching YouTube
Yeah.
and I got sucked into it, kind of. And you just said that, you were like, okay, I want to do this and started watching YouTube videos and just and went for it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using YouTube for everything I need to learn how to do if I'm trying to figure anything out. So once I started looking into like traveling and quitting my job, like van life things came up on my radar a little bit years and years ago, and it's
Uh-huh.
kind of tickled my brain a little bit as I've always looked at YouTube. But it definitely, I geeked out on it hardcore for like a year, like what's the right way to go and how to build things and what to do and kind of dreaming about it. But it happened sooner than I expected. I had no intention of quitting my job at the time or anything, but I had ended a relationship that was a serious relationship, and one thing that changed my life, I got this dog, and that's when one of the things when I first got this dog was I kind of figured out my secret of life, right? And I started changing my life. I started eating healthier and started growing a little bit and starting to figure things out some, and figuring out how to be successful, like even in regular retail corporate setting.
Right.
And the dog like really helped me out. His name was Farley, and he was a Bernese Mountain Dog. He was like my first real dog that was all to myself on my own, kind of thing. And he was starting to get older, but I never expected him to be gone soon,
Yeah.
And after my relationship ended, I still had my dog for about a year after that. And then he passed away, and then that was like the catalyst, that was the moment where I was like, I've reached that like 0 F's given level,
Right.
and I'm ready to do it now, so that was another major turning point. So
I don't want to use the word scary, but how anxious or scary, how was it? Was it like nerve-wracking to kind of jump into that life? Just kind of like after being used to, I mean, I know me, you're used to living in the house, going to work, A to B, do da, blah, 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 blah. You got your daily grind, and all of a sudden you're going to go, hey, I'm going to just throw everything to the wind, see what sticks to the wall, and just go for it. Was that like,
Yeah. No, I would use the word scary. It was pretty terrifying. I don't know. I mean, I was very unprepared when I did leave. I had all these dreams of like, oh, I'll build the truck out before I leave, and when I leave on the road, it'll be like pretty much done, but I'll finish things up. Or I didn't get anywhere close to anywhere built. So I left with an empty truck that wasn't mechanically sound either.
Oh man!
And I just kind of made things happen as I went. But I had a pretty good amount of savings saved up from when I was working at the grocery store. I had a pretty good amount going on, so it was a matter of inconvenience, not monetary, at least.
Right.
But no, it was definitely scary. It's a whole change, a total comfort zone change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
It's definitely bizarre.
All right, so you jumped in both feet. You got your truck, and you said you're out there and you're like doing it as you go. What did you have like some kind of plan in mind, or as you were going, you were like, I really need this and I could use this, and is that how it? Because I know some people, like for instance, some folks, like when I watch, they'll get a van, they'll do a van build, so they'll build it all out and go, it's done, and I'm going to hit the road. And other people go, okay, they throw a bed in there and then they go, all right, I'm going to go and do this as I see I need shit and where where it needs to be for me.
Yeah.
So which approach did you take? Was it like, I have this plan in mind, or was it, this is what I need and this is what I think I need and where and all that?
It was a little bit of both. I had a rough idea. I'd sketched out some plans, like floor plan kind of things, of where I proposed things to go. I had things in a priority list of like how important they were to me. Like energy was pretty important, where I could charge devices.
Right.
And I had purchased some things that I hadn't installed. I had my truck. I had a stack of stuff, like 2 ceiling fans, max air fans.
Yeah.
And, I needed all my solar components. I didn't have any of those. So I needed to buy a bunch of stuff to install, but I just I had an idea where I wanted everything to go and what priority I needed them in. And just kind of tried to work them in as quickly as I could. So I didn't even have a bed when I started. I mean, I had a plywood platform with no foam or anything. I just doubled up a bunch of blankets and slept on that for a while.
Wow.
And when I got to Denver, I broke down there and ended up having a couple batteries installed at this RV place. And they donated 2 foam cushions out of one of their,
nice.
RVs. So I didn't even have like cushions to sleep on, you know, but I mean, that was, and I had it in the truck, you know, I just had to cut it perfectly and make it to my bed. I had bought foam for it. I just didn't want to mess it up. So
Yeah.
I was just roughing it, you know, whatever. So number one was the bed. I got the bed fixed up a little bit. Then I really wanted an office. That was like the first thing I built was a desk area with a full-on computer and a monitor and everything. And that was like one of the first things I did. And then I just kind of worked my way around, you know, like started setting up some kitchen stuff.
Now, did you have plans right away? Like, okay, I'm going to document this and start a YouTube channel and do all this. And
yeah. Well, when I, you know, 6 months, it wasn't 6 months. It was probably about 4 or 5 months before I went on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did videos of me taking it to like the mechanic and sorting out certain problems with it. And a video of, if you look back, there's, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 videos that shows really clear what's inside the step van, and there was like nothing in there.
Yeah.
And you know, little things I did to it, but yeah, all along the way, a lot of it I didn't film, but I showed the finished product of it.
Yeah.
But it kind of develops as you watch my channel. If you go binge watch like the whole thing,
Yeah. I like to go back and watch old catalogs especially after I talk to people and know what they're about. Sometimes I do I go back. Well, I do go back a little bit just to do a little bit of research for talking to folks, but yeah, it's even better once you get the idea.
Yeah. It's funny to find the old cringy stuff and all the errors and editing and stuff that happen.
Yeah.
And
I do that with myself. I go back and watch the first 3 and go, oh man, did you really post that shit?
Yeah. But it's practice, you know, you got to go through it. You got to do those.
Everybody's got to start, right? Got to have that first one.
Yeah. Ellie's actually just made her second video ever. It'll be coming out in a few days.
Wow.
So yeah, she just made her first one here in Orlando, and we were at the beach in my last video, and now she's on the other coast. She's driven all the way across.
Well, what's her channel? Plug her channel so we can get.
She don't have a channel. She just she's on my channel.
Oh,
her channel is my channel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought she was going to start her own channel. Oh, so she's just doing videos and then sending them to you, and you're uploading them.
Yeah. We're just, you know, we kind of all of our experiences, we travel together, and everything is kind of together on my channel. So my channel is definitely like has a more male dominant lean to it. Most viewers are male, but Ellie's got a little following as well, and people love and they really respond to her, and she's in the air, you know, like a lot of people are requesting it, but we'll see, you know.
Did you have a travel plan when you first started? Like, I want to go XYZ, or just?
No, I didn't. I had no idea. I just knew, I knew I wanted to be at the RTR in Quartzsite. And I also wanted to get all the way to the West Coast and go to California. I had a friend in San Diego, so I went to go visit my friend in San Diego first.
There you go.
So I wanted to go from coast all the way to the other coast.
Yeah.
And cool. That was but I did it by way of the northern route through Denver. Because I didn't want to go across Texas. I thought it'd be more fun to go up north.
Yeah.
But it was really cold too. Super cold. I left in October 21st, 20th. Yeah. And headed I stayed in Virginia around my sisters, got some things done there, and then went up north into Denver. So I was there in November 22nd.
Oh man.
It was very cold. I had a buddy heater, and I would sleep with it right next to it on high all night, and I just bundle up next to it. It was rough.
Oh man.
But I loved it. I like the cold.
So when you were building, this might sound like an odd question, but were you thinking of someone else being with you or other people being with you, or was it just man cave, or what was your plan?
No, I always tell people that I was attempting to build a truck for 2 people. You know, I figured if I build a space, that doesn't have room for someone, how do I expect ever to fit someone in there? You know,
Well, exactly.
So I figured the bread truck was good for that. It's a nice space for two people, and I always had that in mind. And I didn't want it to be man cave. I wanted it to be a little bit more. I don't wanted it to have a feminine touch to it. You know,
Be a living space. Yeah.
yeah, like finer finishes and stuff. Not that a man cave doesn't have fine finishes too, but that's a balance that we talk about a lot when we're, because she's helped me design. We've since we've been together, we've ripped out 75% of my truck and rebuilt it all. And so she helped me design the layout of the new way it is. And I pretty much put that together with her, you know, her help. And it's always good to have her point of view, because
For sure.
I'll put anything in there, you know, like it might be super busy, you know, with all the stuff that I want to put in there on all the walls, or um, you know what I'm saying, like that make all the finishes too hard and too dark,
Yeah.
or something like that. But and another thing I did was I wanted to build it out of junk. I wanted to build it out of recycled,
Oh yeah.
reclaimed, dumpster
Reclaim
dive
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did a bunch of dumpster diving, and it's kind of fun. I've that's something that's been in my family for a long time. Kind of flea market, kind of junkers a little bit, like my family. And so getting into dumpsters and finding some cool stuff. I still have stuff in my truck that's built out of dumpsters. My
Hey,
cabinet,
that's
countertop.
awesome. I had a
Uh,
friend who used to get skids and rip them apart. He built a whole bar in his house and everything out of skid wood, man. And it is,
yeah,
once he worked it and stained it and everything, it was gorgeous, man. I'm like, man, this is old junky skid wood. It was beautiful.
yeah, I like pallet wood too. I've never built anything out of pallets yet because they're such a pain to break
Yeah.
down and get all
Yeah.
those nails out.
All the nails. Yeah.
Yeah, they really stack them up because they just use them until they can't anymore. But that was one thing I always kept in mind when building my truck, was that I wanted to kind of let the trash I find dictate what it looked like, you know, try
Yeah.
to pick out things that, it's interesting when you're picking for trash, you can't keep everything you want. You'd be driving with a dumpster full of trash. So you have to have a project and be looking for that thing or something close to that thing getting built. You
Right.
can't just haul around all this stuff.
All
So
the junk. Yeah.
yeah, it really is specific, you know, like, hey, I got to build a kitchen right now. I ended up finding a whole dumpster full of cabinets, you know, so it was perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was going to go there, but we kind of went there a little bit. Ellie, when did you meet her? When was this in your
Yeah.
process?
We gotta do a video about this and like tell our story. I've been
Yeah.
really wanting to do this, but she and I had traveled in our vans for around 2 years independently, solo. And we met at a spinoff from RTR in 2018. The RTR had an event, a portion of people set up this thing called Mindful Camp. And it was an area of the RTR where they had daily meditations, and it was kind of like a quiet zone,
Oh, okay.
and, you know, that kind of thing. But after the RTR, they set up another meetup in Sedona, Arizona, where Ellie was based out of, even though, you know, she was traveling in her van, but that was kind of like her base. So
Mhm.
she was at that event, and I went to it, and we met there, and just became friends at that event, and kind of just, you know, became acquainted with each other, really. And didn't see each other again until the following year at RTR 2019.
Oh, wow.
And then that's when we really became good friends. You know, once I saw her again, it was like, I don't know, it was something uh, really clicked at that time. I saw her at like the orientation of the RTR.
Yeah.
And we hung out a lot that week, or that whole event, and then went to Slab City and camped together in Slab City at Spaceport 42 for like a whole month. There was a whole bunch of us there at Spaceport, and became really good friends there as well. but she was dating someone little at the time, kind of, and we kind of became friends. But after that, ended up meeting together at Borrego, and it wasn't like a serious thing for her, that she, the person which she was dating,
Yeah.
and they kind of parted ways, and we met up at Borrego Springs, and kind of, I guess that's when we started dating, was Borrego Springs.
That's all. You guys do need to get together and make a video about that, because that's interesting.
It is
Little,
definitely, it's a crazy
little
story.
chain of events and that year gap. That would make a good video. And
Mm-hmm.
I hear it a lot from folks, and it's true. I agree. I have the same sentiment. You guys do make a great couple. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
And I mean, I watched your videos for a while, but I kind of was introduced to you, kind of, I guess you could say, through Chelsea, the Carrie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did a meetup with her here around my area, and she did a little live when we were there, and you were popped on, and she was like, and kind of like, and I was like, oh, so, and she just like talked you up a lot. And so I was like, oh yeah, I do watch him. He's pretty cool. So it was fun to kind of start to get connected, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
That year that we were at Slab City and RTR, we were with Chelsea the whole time as well. Chelsea was camped right across from me at RTR, and also came over to Slab City and was camped with us there at Spaceport too. So yeah, she's kind of like a common friend.
Yeah,
she's definitely, Chelsea kind of helped spark the relationship a little bit in a way.
Pushed you guys together there a little bit.
it was kind of like after we had already kind of gotten together, she had to leave. We had to part ways, like you do in van life, you know.
Yeah.
And it just seemed too soon. I was like, I don't want to go, you know, like.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem right, and Chelsea kind of encouraged us both to like stick it out for a little longer. So we ended up going to Sedona and hanging out for like a little bit longer, but it was perfect, you know. So
Chelsea's she's a special kind of person, man. She's pretty awesome. I mean, for as young as she is, I always tell her, I said, you're like an old soul, you know, you got that old soul. She's something special. She's a cool chick. Now you mentioned RTRs and all that stuff. So the meetups like that, do you enjoy those?
I do enjoy them. I mean, I really have a good time at them, but I'm also going there with the mindset that I'm kind of working. You know, it's a pretty high energy event for me. Even when I first went, my first year, and when I went in there, I had 300 subscribers, and you know, so I had no followers at all. I think it was 200 maybe the first day of the first RTR. So what I looked at it was like a marketing event, a networking opportunity, and I put my business card in every person's hand that I could.
There you go.
And it really worked. I went from 200 subscribers to 1,000 by the end of the first RTR.
Awesome.
Maybe not that short a time. I went to Slab City after that, but at the end of Slab City, I had got to 1,000. So it built quick over that event.
How is the little, I call them little genres of all the little meetups, you know, because like you guys, you know, the box truck row and all that stuff, you know, is it cool to have that little kind of like pack amongst the big pack, you know, to have all the little, you know, the box truckers here and hanging out, and, you know, and all the other guys are over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is cool in a way, as long as, I mean, it's really hard to not be cliquey or be kind of like exclusive. Some groups come off as elitist sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a whole row of $150,000 sprinters,
right?
What are people are all going to talk trash because they're jealous, probably, you know, and but you know what I'm saying. It's cool as like a visual thing to have them all lined up. Like, how weird is that to have, you know, nobody uses a box truck for a step van for camping in, but here's a group of them, you know. So I like the oddity of it, but it is, when I put my feet on the ground, when I first got there, I was pulling in, and I put my feet on the ground this year, it was a whole different scene.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was several people that had cameras out, like recording us as I'm backing into my spot, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get set up here, you know. And there's like several people like, the bread trucker is here on the scene, blah blah blah. And I'm like, whoa, this is like, let me get parked, you know. But
Yeah.
so I don't know, those groups they're intense. They're super intense.
As a viewer, I'll say it is kind of cool, you know, to see like the schoolies all bunched together and then all the box truckers all bunched together, and it is kind of neat to see as a viewer. So I was just wondering what the vibe was like, you know, when you're there. You know, like you said, it can be clicky, but yeah, it is kind of neat that everybody kind of like, you know, we're open.
I think also a lot of times people, when they talk about groups being cliquey or something like that, that's just the perception. They didn't go up and talk to those people and find out that they're the most friendly people on earth, you know, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times that's the way it goes. They just see an image and they say, oh, it's, you know, they imagine they wouldn't want to talk to somebody that has a piece of crap rig or whatever.
Well, speaking of misperceptions, I kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not, I guess I'll use the word fan. You like Slab City. You don't mind it. It's a place that you don't mind being and you like to go. So, and a lot of people are like, oh no, God, you know. So tell us, why do people have this misperception of Slab City?
Well, I mean, I don't know. If you go back through my channel, you'll see me dogging out Slab City too. But I still don't feel like they weren't dishonest. But it's kind of a sketchy place. This is what I always tell people when they ask me about Slab City is that it's kind of like going to a haunted house. You know, you go there to get spooked out a little bit. You go there to like have this adrenaline rush or a little bit of implied danger, kinda. But is it really dangerous? It can be. It really can be. I don't know. It takes a special kind of person to like to go to Slab City. One thing I really, if someone community cause from Slab City, he asked me a question one time. He said, if I could change one thing about Slab City, what would it be that I would change? And the thing that I would change is that I wish that they wouldn't threaten to kill each other so often. It is really a lot. I mean, that's just a common thing. I'll fucking kill you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
But,
no, I cuss all the time. My channel.
Okay, cool. But you know, that's the way they talk, and they don't. They don't really mean they're actually going to kill you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but to an outsider, when it's 3 o'clock in the morning, they're trying to sleep or whatever, and there's someone walking through slabs screaming, I'll kill you, you know what I'm saying? I could see where it's a little scary.
Well,
you know,
I could go 2 miles
down the
road here in the city and have the same thing.
Sure.
Gunshots at night, people screaming, glass breaking, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot like a big city in some ways, you know, but just way less population and no concrete buildings.
So I guess it's an experience rather than a place to stay. Is that what you're kind of saying?
I don't know. I mean, there's the temptation. You could stay there indefinitely for absolutely free. You know, there's a temptation there, but you can't earn money while you're there. And there's really not much you can do to get paid by doing a job there. So you have to bring your own, have some sort of way to make it. If you had a YouTube channel that generated enough money to live on, you could do that.
You could do it.
But I don't see, unless you're maybe running a cafe or something like that where you're generating your own money in Slab City. But that's kind of sketchy too, because you're not permitted. State of California rolls in there, and if they catch you selling beer or something, now you're getting fined $1,500 or whatever it's a lot. And they do raids like that, you know. So
I could imagine.
I would have trouble staying at Slab City indefinitely, but I could see why the appeal is there. You know, it's a renegade place. You could really do what you want.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't affect other people, that nobody gives a shit. So I couldn't do it though. It's not for me. It's kind of fun being next to that live bombing range. That's really, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's big bombs that go off and machine gun fire and 50 cal fire. It's kind of fun to watch their operations, but I wouldn't want to live with that, you know?
Right.
It's like an experience. It's like going to a theme park for a month if you want.
That's interesting. That's cool.
And throughout the summer, it gets up to 120, 130 degrees.
Yeah.
I can't, that's too much for me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Now you said, okay, you mentioned, YouTube and all that other stuff. How difficult is it when you're on the road to actually maintain a YouTube channel?
Oh my God.
With connections and fucking upload speeds and this, how difficult is it?
It is excruciating sometimes. It is so much more work than people would ever imagine. Just the simple uploading of a video can take days sometimes. But I don't know. I've always looked at it as I want to spend about 40 hours a week on it, like a full-time job. And I've just kind of always looked at it that way. I try to spend about 40 hours a week on it, maybe 35 or 30. But at first I was really putting way more than 40 hours a week in because I just wanted to put out a lot of good videos. I wanted to put out videos that had like a story, or they're like little episodes. I refer to my videos as episodes. Like they're kind of like, they usually have like some sort of reason. It's not just like, I don't know.
I need to put a video out today. I'll just put any old junk up. You actually had a purpose.
I have very few videos too that are like, I wouldn't call an episode like Jackery review. That's not really an episode. You know what I'm saying? That's more like a review video, or my vlogs are kind of like that kind of style. I don't know. But I put a lot of work in, and now I'm set up better, but it's still challenging, to sometimes you're at a place where there's no internet service at all. So now I have a 25-foot tall mast with a Wi-Fi booster or a cell phone booster on it.
Yeah.
It's still really hard. It still doesn't work.
I bet, man. You hear some people, complaining about the number. What do you mean? It's not hard work. It's just YouTube. But I'm like, yeah, you're sitting at home with your lightning internet speed, hooked your house.
Even if you just go to the fastest internet around, that's not the slowest thing. The slowest thing is editing. It takes me, I estimate 6 to 8 hours for each video. And that's everything. Like once you're done editing the video, there's so much more little stuff to do, like all the social media posts, tagging it, and titling it. That takes hours. It takes hours to do all that stuff. And I don't know. I would love to get to the level where I can work with somebody, and someone that's really good at the streamlining of that production.
Yeah. Because
I can record all day long and make videos, but processing all my own videos, it gets in your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's something about watching yourself over and over again. I think if I was editing someone else's videos, it'd be easier, but I don't know. And plus, I'm always behind. You're always in the past if you're editing a video.
Yeah.
I want to live now. I want to live in the moment. And when I'm doing videos from like a week ago, it's hard to be where you're at in time and space.
Right.
With your mind back there. I don't know. It's something that really messes with your head.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. Is there any place that you, in the States anyway, that you haven't been that you really want to get to, or?
Yeah, I haven't. I want to hit up all 50 states, and I definitely haven't been to all of them. I haven't been to the Northeast region. I want to get up into New York and Pennsylvania, where Ellie's from. You're from Pennsylvania. Awesome. Heck yeah. And then I want to get up into Maine. I want to go to the Upper Peninsula.
Gorgeous up there, man.
Not Upper Peninsula is in Michigan. I want to go there too.
Yeah.
But
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I need to do that whole side.
Yeah,
Uh,
up in Maine is gorgeous up there, man. It is. It really is.
yeah,
But don't come up here in the winter.
yeah. I want to go to Eastern Canada as well. So I'd like to work that in. If I can go that area, go up into northern, the east side of Canada,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, maybe come back down through Upper Peninsula if that's possible. I don't know, something like that.
I know
Um,
a lot of the RVers anyway, they kind of avoid this area because of the old windy roads and the low bridges and it's not really, you know, unless you want to stay on the highway, you can get about anywhere, but once you get off the highway, it's not really RV and big truck, friendly. And
yeah,
it kind of makes a lot of people shy away from the area. And plus we don't really have a whole lot of uh RV campsites, if you will. And if
right.
if if the ones that are around are expensive, they're way
Yeah,
expensive.
that's one thing that's tough about the East Coast. It's really more policed, like way more heavily policed.
Yeah,
So the West is just way friendlier for this kind of lifestyle.
yeah.
I feel better out there. It's a different energy, you know. I can get away with camping a lot of places in the step van, but it's still different in the East.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, I mean, driving one of those around here wouldn't be a problem as much as some of the folks with their big fifth wheels or class A's and all that. They're like, because yeah, you get on some of these back roads the campsite's over here. Let me get. No, you ain't getting there. There's some old rickety bridge that's 500 years old.
Yeah, right. With a 6-foot overhang.
Yeah, yeah, it's a trip. Or some windy mountain road that you're chugging up, and it's just, oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's the fun part about the Northeast anyway.
Yeah.
The trip.
And then I also want to get out to Alaska and Hawaii as well. I haven't been to either of those states, and I've always had a thing about like Hawaiian culture. I think it's freaking awesome. And yeah, I'd love to drive the bread truck to Hawaii too. I think that would be a blast. Did I say Hawaii?
Why?
I meant Alaska, right?
Alaska.
I'd like to drive the bread truck to Alaska.
That would be a trip. That would surely be a trip to do, man,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, man, I want to go to Canada so bad, but yeah, that's not going to happen for a while anyway, until this mess clears up for sure.
They are not having it. They don't want us there.
Nope. I hate having a passport and not be able to use it.
Isn't that messed up that we went from having one of the most powerful passports in the world to having one of the least powerful?
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange situation.
It is very strange. It is very strange. All right, now I'm gonna ask you a a question. I don't know if you want to answer or not, but how do you find the I mean, now I know it's different being out there, but what is your perception? How do you find the YouTube nomads? Some of these folks that kind of make it. I, I guess I use the word glamorize it and make it sound like that. Hey, come to leave the dark side, come to the good side. It's so easy and it's so cheap and it's so this and that and that. And you're like, no, shit breaks, and it's still you got to food isn't free, water isn't free, you still, it's not free,
Yeah.
cheap, and easy like you make it seem. So
Mm-hmm.
and then the other ones that are, that I call oh, I have a flat tire. Give me money, please.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so how do you take all this kind of YouTube madness about the community or lifestyle, I guess you would say?
I mean, it's a tricky one. It's
Yep.
I've paid attention to Boit on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've paid attention to those guys quite a bit. Became friends with some of those guys, and met one of them in person. He helped me out with fixing the bread truck.
Nice.
So I kind of know what triggers set people off. I studied that a lot too, when I was starting up my YouTube channel. I wasn't just doing research for how I was going to live on the road. I was figuring out how I was going to run my channel.
Right.
The term e-beggar was a huge one, the biggest one actually that came up on my radar. And bucket shitter was probably number 2. Those are the 2 insults that I ever hear about van lifers, is that you poop in a bucket and that you're an e-beggar. Well, so I always had those things in mind, like how can I create my channel and avoid some of the pitfalls of clickbait and drama and just creating drama, because I don't want drama in my life.
Right.
I want to live a carefree, fun, happy existence, but I also want to stay true to what my reality looks like, you know? So I just always had this just this idea to be as real of me as I can.
Yeah.
And I don't know if even if something I see in my videos, I was like, oh man, that's really not flattering, you know? Like, I could just cut that out. I try to push myself and put it in and just deal with it, because I am who I am, and that's the way I look, and I feel good about my body and all those kind of things, because everything gets scrutinized, you know?
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of channels out there when I was coming up that I saw examples of what I didn't want to do, what I knew I didn't want to do.
Right.
So I avoided some of those things. I met a lot of YouTubers in real life that I was like, yeah, I didn't really want to do your style of thing, and you're not my type of person either, you know?
Right.
So I don't know. I don't have a big a lot of people in the van life community work with other YouTubers that have a following so that they can get more followers themselves.
Right.
And they'll travel with them and, you know, kind of glom onto other people's channel. And I don't have any issue with collaborations. And I always collaborate with other people if we do van tours or whatever.
Right.
But something about, I think there's some fakeness that happens just in some of the YouTuber, I don't know, just this crazy web of YouTuber van lifers. And
I found that I've become, I guess, covering a lot of these folks or talking about them, whatever term you want to use. I've actually become pretty good friends with a lot of them, believe it or not. And I did attend Lollapalooza last year, which is a small, meetup in Texas.
It just ended this year, I think.
Yes,
right?
it just finished up, just wrapped up. And I met a lot of really cool people there. And it's interesting because I guess the YouTube thing is, some people are like that. It's like, this is their little reality show. And you go, you're talking to somebody and you go, yeah, that person seems pretty nice. And they're like, yeah, I camped with them for like a week. And no, they're not like that. Or the opposite, like, that guy's a real asshole. Well, no, he'll give you the shirt off his back and everything. He's really nice. It's like, so, I only know what you put on this little box. So that's all I can see is what you give me. And some folks are like, really, this is my stage and I'm going to pretend, and then you talk to the people that, I spent 2 weeks in a camp with that guy. No. So it is funny. It's interesting.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. I think when people meet me in real life that I'm pretty close to what they see on my channel. I try to present myself as real as I can, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens out there on the road that is not fun, it happens. And I just always keep a positive attitude about it. When things happen, I usually don't get all beat up about it. I figure out a solution, start figuring out how to fix it, move on. But I don't know. I'm not the type of guy that just dwells on those things. So for me to make a video, I kind of believe that what you say and what you feel, what you think becomes your reality. So if you are into the drama and you retell your story over and over, I just feel like you're creating more of it. So that's why I don't do those things. I'm not trying to glamorize my life, but it's just something I don't engage in, and dwelling on the negative, you know?
Negative. Yeah.
So, you know, but I think my channel's pretty real. You know, you see my truck break down, but you
Yeah.
see me laughing through it, you know, and I think it's just that it's all in the way you approach things, you know, your perspective and the way you handle it, I
Well,
guess.
speaking of that, how is it to have your house break down and possibly have to get towed away someplace? And how do you prepare, and what do you do? How is that? How does that mess with your head, or are you prepared? Do you have a little bundle of money or whatever, so you can say, okay, I can get this fixed. I can stay in a hotel or something for a week or 3 days or whatever it takes to,
Mhm.
get fixed and everything. So how does that work mentally?
Yeah. Well, I've been very lucky on the road. My truck has broken down a few times, and it has happened in my dad's driveway. I don't know how. I go all
Wow.
thousands of miles, and I come back here and it breaks down right here. It's happened twice now. I've come back last year and this year and last year, and it broke down both times. And the time before that happened when I went to visit my sister. It broke
Wow.
down at her house. So in all those situations, I was fine. So
Wow. That's awesome.
I've had a few things happen where like my battery got drained and I had to charge it, and I have stuff on board, so I
Yeah.
go to sleep and let it charge and wake up, and I don't know, those things don't stress me out that much. I have a couple of things that I definitely do. I have a couple $1,000s worth of credit cards that are available, so
Right.
that's like my backup
Yeah.
fund. Just make sure I have like no balance on those. Um, get a AAA, like roadside assistance.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't work on my truck because I have a commercial vehicle and they
Mhm.
won't tow it. But I mean, it still does work for some stuff. So if you were to get stuck, they could bring you gas. They could maybe help you with the ride, even if
Yeah.
it's not towing your truck, or you know what I'm
Right.
saying? They can do some things.
Yeah.
So I think one of those services, they always pay off for me. I've always used them. So I would recommend one of those things, but um, I don't know. I mean, they don't really stress me. Uh, I kind of generally feel like my truck's just going to keep on going, and it usually does, man. It's been awesome.
Well, I've seen some people have issues with, say, for instance, like oh yeah, if I take it to the RV dealer or a repair shop, yeah, they can get me in 4 months, and I have this whatever, like a Class C on a Ford chassis. Well, the Ford dealer won't take it in because they don't have a bay or a lift to do it, and this and that and that. So they're kind of like in this limbo world
Mhm.
that if something happens, they really don't have anywhere to go. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean,
Yeah.
you have like you said, a commercial vehicle. I also was talking to, I can't, one of the other guys that has a truck, but he was saying at first he was having a hell of a time getting insurance because they were like, well, you have a commercial, you have a box truck. He was like, no, it's not. I don't have a fleet of them. I'm
Yeah.
not delivering packages.
Right.
And he said,
Yeah.
go through
I
a whole
had
lot of
problems with
hoops.
both of those things. The insurance thing for sure. I had called 6 different companies before I found one, and I did find one. I went to State Farm, but I do have a commercial policy. I did up until just about a week ago.
Oh, wow.
But just because you have a commercial policy doesn't mean that you're conducting commercial business. There's a difference. You still can not be commercial. So my truck had a commercial title, commercial insurance policy, but since I was not doing any business, I wasn't commercial. It's only when you have a load that you have to do something like that. So
Yeah.
my truck is a little tricky like that because it's medium duty. It's not heavy duty. It's not a big rig, but it's
Gotcha.
not light duty. So I can't take it to a GMC dealer because it's a GMC chassis.
Right.
They won't touch it. So it's tricky to find. I've wasted thousands of dollars on mechanics that didn't know what they were doing. They said they could do it. You know, just total just total uh bad deal all the way around.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just something you have to learn. I don't know. It's really hard to do. It varies. You have to be able to be a problem solver in
Yeah.
every town you go to, figure out what resources are there and the right people to call. I gravitate to the right people and usually get connections and hook things up with very little funds. A lot of times, I had a broken sway bar mount on my truck, and a guy welded it up for me for
Nice.
like very little amount of money, but that could have been $1,000 repair or something. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Right? Take it to the wrong mechanic.
And Lord knows how long waiting for a part to come or something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be waiting for 4 months to fix an RV no matter what. So, I mean, there's other ways around that. You can find a mechanic that will do it. But it's not going to be a deal.
It's got to be difficult. And then the other thing is the benefit of, say, having, what you have or a schoolie or something like that is you build it. So if something kind of goes wrong, you kind of have an idea what's wrong and how to fix certain things. As if you go into an RV dealer and say, I want that one, sign on the dotted line and drive it away, and something breaks, you're like, I don't know. I don't know what's behind this wall or under the, so you kind of do have a little bit of an advantage in that aspect, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing is that, I mean, I feel bad for the people that can't work on their rig at all.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars more. Because like, I've done a lot of things on this bread truck and I don't know very much. I'm very amateur when it comes to wrenching on the truck. But I've done some pretty big things to it. I took the entire transmission out and replaced the transmission bell housing and put a new clutch and main seal and rear seal and I did this whole thing. That would have cost at least $3,000.
Yeah.
Had to be at most dealerships, but I did it myself for $500.
That's awesome.
But it happened here in Orlando. That was last year when I was here.
Yeah.
And I found this huge problem like 5 days before I had to go meet Ellie in Arizona. I mean, I didn't have the money to spend to pay someone to do it. I had no other choice, but working on your own car, that's really the way I can do it. If I had to pay for service every time, I wouldn't be able to do it. It would be too costly.
Seen you just recently with your starter.
Yeah. I got a new video coming out. It starts now.
Yeah.
It's all
it was interesting too, saying, you were saying it's this motor with this transmission, so it's kind of Frankenstein, and just knowing what starter I need and how to get it was a challenge, not a challenge, but something that, you had to really work at. It wasn't like, yeah, I want that,
No, yeah. And that's another thing about my van is that like you have to find the parts. A lot of times they're not local. So when I broke down in Vegas, I stayed in the Rio parking lot for a week because I ordered the part and they were cool with it. I don't know why, but they were cool with it. I just kept going inside, eating at their little, food stops and whatever.
Yep.
And they let me fly. But that's a tricky thing about it. My channel sponsor though, they specialize in step vans, and I actually, it's pretty cool that I got a sponsor that's so specific to step vans. Like they're known as the step van people.
That's awesome.
They don't carry everything. They don't carry engine parts. So like the starter, there was no luck with them.
Right.
But you got to know your rig and the right people, because this company that sponsors me, it's called Mill Supply. They wouldn't be a help to some other people. I think like an ambulance or a schoolie, they're not really going to be that much help to. I don't think they may have some stuff for them, but so depending on what kind of rig you have, you're going to need to zero in on your like emergency black book people. So, and just have some people on the phone that you can call. I've called up Badge before in the past.
Yeah.
And like a lot of van life, RV life people know Badge very well, and he's like the community guy. In my new video that's going to be coming out tomorrow, I believe, I got a guy. His name's Rob. He has been helping me build the bread truck, rebuild it, kind of helping me build the Volkswagen. But
I got a guy.
yeah, I mean, you got to develop a network
Yeah.
to survive out there. You can do it alone, but it costs a lot of money,
Yeah.
you know, or you can do it alone, but you got to be really skilled and have time on your hands. So I don't know. You ever heard of the triangle? There's three sides.
Yeah.
You can have cheap, good, and fast. You can
Yeah.
only choose two sides.
Yeah.
That applies in every situation.
All right. We talked about the rig. Now, what about you? What is it like having insurance and getting sick or hurt or anything out on the road? Because I know here in the States, it's not like, the UK or Canada where, the universal health care and all that. If you need your specific doctor and the way our crappy shit works, what is it like when if you're out and about and you're somewhere and you get hurt or sick or you need stuff and health insurance and all that? How does that work when you're out there?
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't work. There's no, I don't have any, since I quit my job at the corporation, health insurance went with that. And I just don't have any health insurance. If I get sick or something happens, I'll just roll into an emergency room and deal with it. But I'm lucky to be healthy enough to do that. I don't take any prescriptions or I don't have any need in that area. So I'm pretty lucky for now, but it is something I want to get in the future. I want to secure health care and figure that part out, but I'm just kind of hoping for the best as it goes
And
right now.
that was my next question. Is like, how are you preparing for being the old guy and needing with the achy this and hey, shit stops working after a while.
Yeah.
Are you kind of getting ready for that in some way or?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of just playing it by ear. Like one thing that I want to do is I've got all my taxes caught up and I'm good to go. And in order to file for the government healthcare, you have to have up to date taxes. So
correct, yeah.
I think enrollment starts for national healthcare on November 1st, so it's right around the corner. So I should be able, with my income level, which is like nothing, to get on national healthcare this year. So it should start January 1st. So short-term plan, that's what I plan to go with. Hopefully January 1st I'll be covered. And then after that, I'm just hoping, I didn't move into my van to quit working. I'm not done working. I want to build a business and I want to build income and build revenue and all that kind of thing. So I'm doing things as I can right now, as best as I can with national health care that'll get me by.
Right.
But until I can really start producing some income and doing bigger things, then I'll secure my own kind of healthcare situation.
I mean, it's rough when you get, like I said, it doesn't, you could be really, really healthy and taking care of yourself and eating good and everything. It's just, we all have an expiration date. We don't know when it is, but just like an old car, as we go on, shit stops working and needs fixed or replaced. And, it's one of those things that I always think about when I see some of the folks that are running around and especially some of the retirees, they got their pensions or their social security and stuff like that, but still, I wonder, it's like if they get sick and if they just, I don't know, blood pressure medicine or something, how do they deal with all that as they're all over the place, with our goofy.
It's tough too, because sometimes your healthcare is only good for the state you're in.
Exactly.
So you got to go back to the state you're in. I think some states allow for national, but you're pretty much stuck going to an emergency room.
Yeah.
With that's no good.
For those little
The
urgent
whole
care
system is
places.
broken, though. I mean,
It is.
the entire healthcare system, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. To me, it looks like a freaking I don't know, like a. You ever seen Idiocracy? It looks like an old.
Yes.
It looks like a commercial, like out for that movie or something like that.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah.
Is your Florida, is that your domicile or residence, place of residence?
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Florida's a pretty decent state when it comes to to
Yeah.
that stuff.
That's why I haven't changed my residence somewhere else, because Florida's pretty decent. There's no state income tax, so I don't have to
Right.
worry about that. Gun laws are really liberal.
Right.
Not that I even use that, but I do have a concealed weapons carry license.
Carry permit. Yeah.
Yeah. And that license is good in like 42 states or something like that.
Yeah. Our
So,
state, our permits are pretty much the same
yeah.
states that, yeah. How is it with, inspection and registration and shit like that?
Zero. They don't do any. I mean, registration's a little bit expensive because a lot of cars come in and out, but there's no emissions, there's no inspections.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's why if you there's Facebook groups about Florida cars.
Yeah.
They're pretty funny. If you haven't joined one, you should check that out. But the worst pictures of cars come from Florida cars. Just the biggest heaps are on the road here. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I know a lot of folks, they have to travel back to some state, and get cars and shit inspected, towed vehicle and everything inspected and everything once a year. And yeah, it must be a pain in the ass, really.
Yeah. I've found some workarounds at this point. If I ever want to register a car, Vermont is definitely a good way to go. You don't have to live there. You can register a car from anywhere in the country and they'll send you a license plate and a registration in the mail. You don't even have to have insurance.
Wow.
And they just want the revenue from vehicle registration, so they allowed that.
That's pretty wild.
My Volkswagen bus, my 1972, not the yellow one, the other one, that one's registered in Vermont right now. So even if you don't have a title, they'll register it. They don't issue titles for cars older than 15 years old. So
wow,
that's a good workaround, as far as vehicle registrations and stuff. But
well, that's cool. I wanted to touch on that too. The VW, your little project, man.
Man, I'm good at these segues, aren't I? I just keep bringing up.
Let me roll right into the things on my list I want to talk about. You're good.
Yep.
So what is your obsession with the VW bugs and the buses, I guess, and what got you into doing them, and just why, man? They're cool as shit. I mean,
yeah. The first Volkswagen I ever had was a 65 Beetle, and I love that car. I freaking love it, and that's kind of my dream car. I want another one, and I love the Volkswagen Bug. I think they're awesome. So that started it. I've always been into them. I've never owned a bus though. I've always wanted a bus. I've never owned one. Now that I'm in, van life community, damn it, I want my Volkswagen bus to do those, those glamorous van life things on YouTube, so of course it's going to have a bread trucker twist on it. When I do it, it'll be a little different.
Of course.
But that's the king of van life, or the founder of van life. Like the Volkswagen bus kind of started a whole. Maybe it just came out at a time where people were starting to do it with vehicles and stuff. But the Volkswagen bus has been van life for 60 years now.
That is true. I never really thought it until you just said that. I was like, bang, yeah. That was the shit back in the day. And then even, as we got close, more modern with the pop-up tops and everything. And man.
And, we had American vans and stuff like that, but it just, I don't know, for some reason it's different. Yeah. And I think the vans were huge in America, and the Volkswagen was kind of a smaller size, and I don't know, just economical. And it was the first hippie bus, and I want to live a hippie lifestyle, man. I want to travel in my bus, and it's tricky because doing it with the girlfriend is kind of hard. It's a lot. That's a lot for two people to do it. But I still want to build it for myself. And so one is for sale and one I'm keeping. I'm building the one for myself.
Nice.
I don't know. I've just always been into them. I think I'm a Porsche guy too. So
dude, you put that one video up and I watched. I was like, man, that thing is awesome. And your comment was, you should buy it.
Yeah. I'm looking into how to post it for sale worldwide right now,
Yeah.
because I could possibly sell it out of the country to in Asia. They're just going crazy for them for some
Oh,
reason.
really?
Yeah, something, I don't know, something nostalgic about him, I guess, or but I could possibly make an extra 10, 15, 20,000 on it. I don't know if I sell
Man.
it worldwide. And I got guys that can import and export, so I don't know, I might do that. But I've always been a weird vehicle guy, like just strange. I
Yeah.
live in a bread truck. My car I drove before the bread truck was a 1994 Geo Metro, which I still have. I
Nice.
I rebuilt this whole Geo Metro from the ground up. I've done everything to it pretty much.
Wow.
But my idea was to tow it behind the motorhome
Yeah.
at first, but now I'm gonna tow a Volkswagen bus behind it. I think. I
Oh,
don't know.
man. That would be badass there.
Yeah, I got to work on getting the hitch on the bread truck. But once I get that done, I might be towing a Volkswagen bus behind it.
Oh, I
But
almost forgot to ask you when we were talking about the RTR and stuff. Did you get to meet the Bob?
oh yeah, I've met the Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah, yeah. Me and Bob have actually gone back and forth a couple times here and there. I've got a video on his channel of the step van.
Uh-huh.
That was the first. Okay, this is one thing that really set off my YouTube channel. Was I went to the RTR with this plan in mind of marketing my YouTube channel to grow it there.
Right.
And when I drove in there, immediately, as soon as I drove in, Bob saw my truck and started walking right toward it. So I'm pulling into the spot and Bob walks right up. I mean, immediately.
Wow.
So I had the idea maybe Bob might do a tour of my van, but he actually did. Like, that was the very first thing that happened.
Wow.
When I pulled into the place, because he saw a step van and he's always been into them. He's never built one, but when he saw a step van, he's like, I gotta go see that truck.
Wow.
So that's how it went. So then the next year, I went back, and that was in 2019, and I saw Bob again. We set up an interview, an updated van tour because it had changed a bunch. He actually set up 2 days. The first day he came by, no, I saw him 2 days. First day he came by with a PBS film crew, and there's a documentary that's been released now.
Yeah.
I'm in that clip. If you look on there, I have a speaking part in it where me and Bob are in my van, and it's in that documentary. Well, the first day Bob came by, he saw me, recognized me. I was like, "Hey, Bob, you did a tour last year." So he checked it out. We did a little short thing for the documentary inside my truck. And then he set up an interview for the next day to do another tour.
Wow.
And things kind of fell apart the next day. He couldn't make it at the time, he said, because he was busy. I ended up catching up with him, and we filmed a video right at the end of the RTR, but it never came out. So I don't really know what happened. Bob's a mysterious character.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he wasn't something was wrong with the footage, or I don't know.
I know a lot of folks that when they get the Bob tour, they usually get a little bit of subs out of that deal too, huh?
Oh yeah, it did very well. I got probably I'd say 200 to 300 subs.
Nice.
As soon as it came out, it was a good amount, and it continued to lead people to my channel.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's hard to tell over time.
Yeah. Well, that networking thing that definitely works, especially here on YouTube. The more you network and do collabs and things like this, all the cross, people subs and everything, it does help. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, when you're starting out and you're trying to grow your channel, the real way to grow your channel is produce your own videos, let them get a lot of views through YouTube. Don't rely on anyone else. Produce your own thing.
Yeah.
You'll get subs that way. That's the best way to get them. But when you're first starting out and you're trying to get that algorithm rolling, get some momentum going, if you work with other channels, you do get little boosts that way.
Yeah.
And nice thing about that is you don't have to put any energy into it. You just have to be on camera for whatever it is, and then they have to go off and do all the editing and uploading and tagging.
Yeah.
And then it comes out, and people just come over to your channel. So
Yeah.
that's great too. You know, that's a lot of new YouTubers don't understand that when they're starting out. They'll want to put me on their channel. I'm like, that's really not going to do anything for you. It might be cool, you know, but you know.
Yeah, that is very true. Very, very true. Well, I gotta ask, the beard. You got an awesome beard, dude.
Thanks.
Do you have a regime? Do you have products you use? I mean, it's like asking a woman with the luscious hair. What do you do with that thing? Do you
I do use beard products. I actually am wearing their shirt right now. Mad Viking Beard Company. Yeah, they I've never grown a beard in my life. I've always worked in hospitality, and you can't have a beard.
Right.
That's changing now. They're starting to lighten up on that a little bit. But back in the day I was working, you couldn't. So when I went on the road, I was like, dude, I'm growing this beard out. I want a nice, luscious mane. I want to see what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
See what I'm made of here. And let's do this. So I did cut it once since I've been on the road. So this hasn't been since I went on the road. This is like half the time I've been on the road. It would have been down here. But I probably would have never gotten a girlfriend if it had been that length at that time. And I don't know. There's some sort of correlation there. But I don't know. I wash it every week or so, something like that. You know, when I take a shower, I just rinse it with water or whatever. Right. And I keep it oiled up with like a nice Mad Viking oil. And I brush it and comb it. For a long time, I didn't have a comb or a brush. I had a dog brush that I used, my dog's old brush. So I am very inexperienced with beards. I also want to do this like mustache, like the curly handlebar thing, but that's high maintenance. It really is high maintenance. You got to keep it sculpted, and it's like hairspray. Oh, don't touch my face. You know, like, it's too high maintenance for me. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy the beard. I think it's something about it. I think it's funny when you interact with other people. You could see a bit of a change in the way people approach you or interact with you. Something about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know, but it definitely does affect people in some way. But I don't know.
Well, it suits you. You wear it well, and it looks like you spend a lot of time on it. I mean, it's sculpted. It's not all wild and crazy.
It looks. Yeah, I guess it's really it doesn't look that good in person. if you look at it, like I did have it cut. Probably I got a beard cut video coming out soon of it getting cut. Yeah, it was just like a trim and straight razor shave on my head and all that. And that was probably about 3 months ago. So that was the last time I had it cut. I'm lucky. Some people can't grow a beard.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really thick, and I kind of like the gray and brown stripes in it and stuff. Yeah. It's cool. You got them. Yeah, you got some stripes.
I help mine once in a while.
Yeah.
I get the old dye out. I'm an old guy.
So this is my plan is I'm going to get really fit. I'm just going to like get shredded, 6-pack abs and stuff. And then I'll cut the beard off and I'll look like 20 years younger.
There you go.
I'll change identities. And
you can go rob banks. Nobody will know who it is.
I'll just disappear forever and nobody will have it.
Fade off into the Montana wilderness.
They won't even have anyone to connect it to because the old me with no beard is fat. And the new me will be a thin, fit guy. And I'll have no clue.
The big shredded dude with no beard. Well, we don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I have. Is there anything that you would like people to know that we didn't talk about, or?
Oh man, what would I like people to know? Man, my brain just jumped from like 5 different conspiracy theories. Let's not talk about any of those.
Yeah.
No, um, no, I don't know, man. You've been pretty thorough. Been a thorough dude.
Well, I do want to say this. If you enjoyed this, and I know you did, he's
How
awesome.
could I not?
That's right. He's awesome, dude. So what you have to do is you need to go over to Van Vita Travels. She just interviewed him, and she took that female perspective. So she talked about all kinds of stuff that we didn't even talk about here. So it's a whole different interview. So again, if you enjoyed this little chit chat and you like this guy, what's not to like? Go over, check her channel out, and see even more stuff.
Heck yeah.
All right, Paul. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me for a while and letting me bend your ear and ask you all kinds of inquiring questions.
Absolutely, man. I was glad to be here, man.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So go over and check him out at his channel. I will put a link in and all that good stuff. And you guys probably already know who he is anyway. But if you don't, you do now. I really do appreciate it again, Paul. Thanks for hanging out with me. And hey, this is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.